Hello and welcome to It's Your Business with Mario Toneguzzi on Megapix Media. Joining me today is Brian Gettel, who is president of The Network, a data research firm in Alberta. Thanks for joining us today, Brian.
Pleasure to be here.
Okay, let's talk about your recently released Q3 report on commercial real estate activity in the investment market in Calgary. When we're looking at the numbers overall in Q3, we see investment of 1.2 billion, representing 312 transactions. That's a gain of 108.6 million from a year ago, plus 7 more transactions from a year ago. Tell me what's happening in that overall market these days.
Well, that number looks good. It's really a tale of two cities. Of the 1.2 billion in sales, 970 million of that took place in the first 4 months of the year. So January to March were very good. The pandemic hit in March, but with commercial real estate, there's usually a period of anywhere from 2 to 6 months between where deals are negotiated and when they close. So even though we were in the middle of the pandemic in April, it was still a good month. But what we found was beginning in May, the market really slowed. For example, the average sales during the first 4 months of the year were about 240 million a month. By the time May rolled around, May to September, the sales were about 52 million a month. So overall, between the first 4 months and then the end of September, those final 4 months there, or 5 months, we dropped about 80%.
Okay, then. When you look at investor sentiment out there, what do you think it's like these days?
It's very cautious. As I'd mentioned, the sales activity has really dropped off. What we've seen selling since May has primarily been smaller ticket items. We mentioned in our report, for example, the condominium market's been quite active. Those are smaller value assets, condominium offices, condominium industrial projects. There's still some activity in that particular area, but the sales for the bigger properties really dropped off. Although in October, we've just compiled our stats for October, we see a bit of a rebound coming with about 110 million in sales, which is below the first 4 months of the year, but almost double what we've been seeing between May and September.
Oh, okay, then. Now, when you look at the different segments of the market, let's start off with what right now you think is doing fairly well or good.
Well, again, there's certain aspects of the market that are very weak now. In terms of land, when you get a down economy like we've had over the last several years, and particularly with the pandemic now, land acquisition activity really drops off. For example, urban development land, we had one very big sale in the first quarter of the year for 83 million. There's been almost nothing since. Commercial land has really slowed down in activity. Industrial's been not too bad, but multifamily land has actually been, if there is a bright spot, that's the one bright spot we've had in Calgary. In terms of the investment market, office in particular, downtown office is extremely quiet, huge vacancy problems there. We have seen a bit of sales activity on buildings that are primarily vacant, and they're very low values, $100 a square foot or less. The industrial market has been a little bit better, but again, we had one big sale in the first quarter of the year and not too much since. Multifamily's been reasonably active for the year, and we've seen some activity in the suburban office market. If you're getting out of downtown and if you've got a strongly tenanted building, we've seen some activity there. CBRE just closed on I believe it's the Deerfoot Atria, which is a big suburban office complex. It's closed this month. But again, you've got a suburban location and good tenants in there.
Okay, then. What do you think it's going to take to turn things around in the investment market?
Well, we've got some things that are positive. For example, mortgage financing rates are extremely low. If you can borrow money right now, it's a great time to do it. It's really the economy. Commercial real estate market is completely linked to the economy. And as we see progression in the economy, we'll see more activity in the real estate market. But it's going to be, from our perspective, a very slow turnaround. The economy, the fundamentals are just going to be weak for a while. And with the US election, we've got a president who's stated he wants to kill the Keystone Pipeline if he's to be confirmed as president. So that may be another setback for us.
Okay, super. Well, thanks for joining us today, Brian.
Pleasure, Mario.
Okay, that was Brian Gettel, who's president of The Network, which is a data research firm in Alberta. This has been It's Your Business with Mario Toneguzzi on Megapix Media. Thanks for joining us today.